My dream is an Oakland where people don't have to live outside. My dream is an Oakland where every single individual and family member has a roof over their head, that has a house, but actually that has a home. So unfortunately, my dream as of today has not come true. In the last 2 years, homelessness in our great city of Oakland has increased by 47%. Homelessness in Oakland has increased by 47%. Who is surprised by that statistic? So when you drive by today, do you see someone outside that's living outside? Did you see as many people living outside 10 years ago when you were driving that same path in Oakland? So in Alameda County, there are 8,000 people at a point in time who are living unsheltered. In Oakland, that's about half of that point in time. Only 20% of them, 21% of them are living in a shelter, which means 79% are actually living outside. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about all of the little steps that you took this morning before you came here. When you woke up this morning, did you wake up from a bed with a pillow and a blanket? Did you wake up? Did you brush your teeth? Did you have a cup of coffee? Did you go to the bathroom? Did you read the newspaper? I'm sorry, did you flip to your Instagram and to your Snapchat? My teenagers would be very happy with me. For me, it was about 48 steps before I got here today that it took me to get here, to be prepared to be here today. Now, I want you to think about whether you could have taken those same 48 steps if you were living here. This is a real photo from Oakland. Would you have been as successful in getting here today if this is what your home was? So I want to leave with a couple main points, if nothing else. Nobody wants to be homeless. There are so many myths out there. There is so much stigma out there. You think of a homeless person in front of you and you think, well, they must be a schizophrenic. They must have a drug addiction. That is absolutely not true. In fact, studies show that only 3% of the unsheltered population would turn down adequate, affordable housing. That means 97% of the homeless population would want to come inside if they had the access to the same affordable, healthy housing. So I want to say a little bit about my story and my life. I actually grew up very poor. My father was an alcoholic, and yet I did not touch the streets. My family did not touch the streets of homelessness. I moved 39 times from 0 to 18. I want you to think about how many times you've moved in your lives. Is it 1 time? Is it 5 times? Is it 40 times? But I had to ask myself, then why did my family not fall into homelessness? Why did I never fall into homelessness? And it's because of my family. You know, everybody has support systems around them. And then you think to yourself, well, the individuals that are not as fortunate with family constructs that end up falling into homelessness, what makes them different? And the reality is nothing makes them different. There's so much stigma out there, as I mentioned, that makes you think, well, that cannot be me. That cannot be me. That will not be me. Every single person I serve has the same exact answer. I would never in a million years growing up in Oakland think that I would have ever fallen into homelessness. I was actually quite an angry kid there. There was no smile on that picture. So then you have to think about, well, how did we get here? How did our society get here? This is how we got here. There is not enough affordable housing being developed, and in fact, there is a lot of market rate housing being developed. So you think about the policies, you think about the politics, you think about societal norms, and you wonder how in the United States of America did we get here? Why are we tripping over people living outside? This is how we got here. This is also how we got here. Our country does not have systematic ways to protect all of us living indoors from being displaced. So now I want to talk a little bit about the solutions. There is a solution to ending homelessness in the lives we will all live today. It's very simple. There are 3 solutions. The first one is that we have to prevent it before it starts. It is more expensive to end someone's unsheltered status than it is to prevent that person from ever being homeless before. There is a wonderful program right here in the city of Oakland called Keep Oakland Housed that is doing just that. Did you know that for every 1 person that is permanently housed from the streets, 3 more people fall into homelessness? So we have to prevent it. Could you imagine our medical system if you didn't have a primary care doctor and you did not have preventative care? Homelessness is no different. We must prevent homelessness before it happens. In just a year time, Keep Oakland Housed has served over 1,812 households and served approximately 3,000 people. Those are 3,000 people you will not see on the streets because of this program. Solution number 2, we have to house every single person that is homeless. We can do that. There are strategies. There is a system of care. There is funding that needs to prioritize this work. It's very simple. We need to match people who are living outside and their very unique and differing needs with the right housing for them. The recipe for success is that housing has to be affordable. And the third solution all of you in this room can help with is we have to fight stigma. When you close your eyes and you imagine an unsheltered person living outside, imagine that that is all of us in this room. In fact, I would venture that there are people who have experienced homelessness living in this room. So when you think of how to help homelessness, you can look at the person in front of you. Make eye contact with that person. Ask what they need. Sometimes, they do need $1, and it's not for substances. Just venture and think about all of the different ways you can help end homelessness. Vote. There will be some significant ballot measures coming up that will prioritize ending street homelessness for our great city of Oakland. And I want to end with one simple statement. Housing is a human right. And we all have to fight every day until every single individual is housed and has a home. Thank you very much.